Welcome to today's psychiatric nursing lecture. Today we are going to discuss the other things related to alcoholism. Yesterday we have seen what are the different substances causing addiction and what is alcoholism. Also we have discussed alcoholic amnestic syndrome. In today's lecture we will start with alcoholic psychosis. Alcoholic psychosis, like the name, alcohol plus psychosis. The patient who is using alcohol very large amount for long period of time will have psychotic symptoms present side by side with the alcoholic problems also. So this is not due to acute intoxication. The patients with a little amount of alcohol ingestion will not have this problem. Those who have very heavy dose of alcohol for a chronic time duration, they will have this problem. The main characteristic features of alcoholic psychosis are hallucinosis, particularly auditory hallucination. Auditory hallucination is more common. Sometimes visual hallucination occurs, that is, after auditory hallucination, visual hallucination is evident. And there is also perceptual distortions, like the client may have illusions, depersonalization, derealizations also commonly seen. And paranoid delusions most commonly present. You know that paranoid delusion means patient have suspicious thoughts, suspicious ideas. Psychomotor disturbances also very common. Whenever alcohol goes inside our body, so when the alcohol in the blood enters the central nervous system, it affects our motor functions, behavior also gets affected. That is psychomotor disturbances like agitation, tremors are more common, unsteady gait. Then abnormal affect, mood swings will be commonly present. Then clouding of consciousness. The patient with alcoholic psychosis does not have consciousness. They will have altered level of consciousness, particularly they may be in a drowsy state. They does not know what is happening around them. The alcoholic psychosis treatment, very simple. We must abstain from the alcohol. That is the first step in the treatment. Second, we want to provide guidance and counseling. So when a patient is in alcohol, we cannot give guidance and counseling. That will not be effective. So once the patient tries to be in an abstinent state, then we can give them guidance and counseling. We want to teach them the various symptoms which can affect them medically, psychologically, as well as socially. Then teach them stress and anxiety management techniques, teach about relaxation training, and educate them the social and living skill training. Family education need to be given, and rehabilitation should be done as at the earliest stage itself. Antipsychotics are needed to reduce the psychotic symptoms. The next one is the delirium tremens, commonly called as DT. Delirium tremens is the most severe form of alcohol withdrawal syndrome. So it causes sudden and severe changes in your brain, and nervous system functions also altered. So this condition needs emergency management. The common causes of delirium tremens are acute, this one, sudden withdrawal of alcohol after a long period of use. So many people in this lockdown period had the delirium tremens because suddenly government announced the lockdown, so alcohol is not available. So many people gone for this one, treatment of addiction to the de-addiction centers. So this is the most common problem which easily comes after a withdrawal after long period of time. And during the delirium tremens, what will happen means there will be increase spike in the, that is in the brain, there is increase in the protein level called glutamate. This glutamate level increases which cause the symptoms like extreme high blood pressure, tremors, severe excitability, and sometimes it leads to seizures also. The seizure which comes in alcohol patient is called alcoholic seizures, otherwise it is called rum fits. So delirium tremens commonly occur because of sudden withdrawal of alcohol after a long period of usage. During this period, there will be glutamate level increase in our blood. So that leads to the abnormal symptoms like high blood pressure, tremors, severe excitability, and seizures. So delirium tremens, the signs and symptom. So usually it occurs within 48 hours after the last consumption of alcohol, and it is very high in the 4 to 5 days, and 4 to 5 days of the last drink, and it can last anywhere up to 1 to 8 days, but severe in the fourth to fifth day and subside in 2 to 3 days. Once the symptom occurs, in next 2 to 3 days, mostly it subsides. So during delirium tremens, patients have severe confusion and there may be nervousness more. Patients have angry behavior, aggressive behavior, extreme hyperactivity. There will be global confusion, confusion in everything, all round confusion we can say, confusion in doing the work, confusion in speaking, confusion towards the things in the environment, that is global confusion. Patient also have loss of consciousness is ultimately affected, hallucinations develop, sleep disturbances occurs, fever comes, high blood pressure, rapid heartbeat, excessive sweating and dehydration are the most common symptoms of delirium tremens. The management of delirium tremens usually a medical emergency condition, and if it is untreated, death can occur. 37% of the patient with delirium tremens died because of delay in the treatment. So the signs and symptoms must be recognized very earlier, and treatment must be start very rapid at very fast. So vital signs should be commonly monitored throughout the treatment because hypertension chances are more also. Fever also comes during the increased glutamate level in the blood. And extreme agitation among the patient during the withdrawal period leads to fatal outcomes. So because of the extreme agitation, the patient may go for suicidal activities or homicidal activities. So delirium tremens should be managed in a locked inpatient ward. We should not keep the patient who is having delirium tremens with other normal patients. This patient has to be kept in a closed ward, and particularly in the intense psychiatric ICU, psychiatric intensive care unit. There, these patients should be admitted and monitored very strictly. Treatment by benzodiazepine and supportive care should be given for other problems. So this is about delirium tremens. The next one is the management of delirium tremens. Apart from benzodiazepine, we want to give antipsychotic medications, haloperidol. So this can reduce the psychotic symptoms and help the patient to become calm and reduce the agitation behavior. And intravenous fluids therapy should be given continuously to remove the dehydration and improve the electrolyte level. And the cognitive behavior therapy should be started once the medical treatment is completed. So this helps the client to develop good coping skill and help the patient to live a sober life. Sober life matlab a life without alcohol. So a patient who is living without alcohol after having a addiction behavior, that is called sobriety, sober life. And this is often a key part of overall recovery program. So if a person can able to live a sober life, so the therapy is very successful one. To prevent the relapse, we want to send the patient to guidance and counseling through support groups. Particularly, we have a self-help group for alcohol that is called Alcoholic Anonymous. Alcoholic Anonymous AA, that is a self-help group which have 12-point program which helps the patient to recover from the alcoholism completely. The next one is alcohol withdrawal syndrome. Alcohol withdrawal syndrome, short form is AWS. and this is the name which is given for the symptoms occur once a heavy drinker suddenly stops the alcohol or the alcohol intake amount is reduced. So the signs and symptoms which arise when a person suddenly stops drinking alcohol or the amount of drinking alcohol is reduced is called alcohol withdrawal behavior. So during the alcohol withdrawal state, there is chance of getting two types of symptoms. One is physical symptom, another one is psychological symptoms. So in severe cases with alcohol withdrawal syndrome, the patient can experience seizures, hallucination, delusion, and some condition death may also occur. So this is also should be treated very rapidly, and patient must be admitted in the hospital at the earliest stage itself. Now let's see the two types of dependence commonly present. The excessive use of alcohol may lead to dependence behavior. There are two types of dependence. One is physical dependence, another one is psychological dependence. Physical or physiological, we can say. So physical dependence is very severe than psychological dependence. So in physical dependence, without drinking alcohol, the patient cannot start any kind of activities. So for doing any kind of activities in their day-to-day life, they need alcohol. Even when you reduce the amount of alcohol also, the body becomes tired, the body becomes fatigued, the body gets agitated. So when the substance is given, the body starts functioning properly. So another type of dependence is psychological dependence. Without having alcohol, the patient goes for craving behavior. I already told you that they go for repeated searching of alcohol. Some peoples are there, they used to search through online to buy alcohol even when the shops are closed. Some people take money from steal money and they go for alcohol even in high cost, high price. So psychological dependence, the patient feel negative feelings more, negative emotions are more, but once the alcohol is given, their emotions become normal. So that is psychological dependence. The next one is what are the complications of alcoholism? Basically, we know complications comes in three types. One is psychiatric complication, another one is medical complication, another one is a social complication. So psychiatric complications already we have seen dependence syndrome, physical dependence and psychological dependence. Withdrawal syndrome we have seen delirium tremens. Alcoholic hallucinosis we will see now. Alcoholic seizure is another type of complication, and psychiatric disorders commonly associated with alcoholism are schizophrenia, depression, and mania. Sometimes both will be present together. That is, depression and mania as a bipolar disorder, it will be present. Anxiety disorders also commonly seen in the patient who is alcoholic addiction, and amnestic syndrome, that is Korsakoff psychosis, Wernicke's encephalopathy. So these also a complication related to psychiatric, and the personality disorders and dementia are the, so alcohol induced dementia, that is one of the psychiatric complication because of chronic abuse of alcohols. Next we will see the alcoholic seizure. Alcoholic seizure is a severe and life threatening complication of alcohol withdrawal. This occurs approximately in 5% of the people who undergo alcohol withdrawal. So during the period, like although having an occasional drink does not normally increase the risk of seizure. So normally when you drink alcohol, this risk of getting seizure is not common. But when you drink a very extremely high dose of alcohol, that increase the risk of getting the seizure, alcoholic seizure. Otherwise, it is called rum fits, alcoholic convulsions. So, alcohol-related seizures appears usually within 6 to 48 hours after the last drink, after the last heavy drink of alcohol. So, in individual who is having chronic excessive amount of alcohol, they are usually single or in brief clusters and are typically generalized tonic-clonic seizure. So the type of seizure commonly seen in the alcoholic seizure is generalized tonic-clonic non-focal seizures. So a withdrawal seizure is strong risk factor for experiencing progressively the uh, very high problem, and because of this alcoholic seizure the mortality rate increased four times, fourfold increase in the mortality rate occurs because of alcoholic seizure. Alcoholic hallucinosis is another type of complication. So here it is a rare complication because of chronic alcohol use. It is characterized by predominantly auditory hallucination. So patient gets the auditory hallucination very common, and during the period of heavy alcohol consumption usually occur within 12 to 24 hours of the cessation. So in the withdrawal period it occurs within 12 to 24 hours. So it automatically resolve in 24 to 48 hours, and patient with alcoholic hallucinosis will have clear consciousness. But when the patient is having delirium tremens, there is clouding of consciousness. But when the patient is having alcoholic hallucinosis, the consciousness is clear. In delirium tremens, the consciousness is clouding of consciousness in delirium tremens. Next one is it is a life-threatening condition. Patient can develop delusional ideas. So paranoid delusion is more common associated with alcoholic hallucinosis. Now medical complication based on the system wise. So commonly gastrointestinal tract gets the problem like acute gastritis, malabsorption, diarrhea. In liver, cirrhosis of liver, alcoholic hepatitis, acute fatty liver are very common. The pancreas, acute pancreatitis, acute pancreatitis, and this one pancreatic pseudocyst, pancreatic cancer, diabetes are very common. And this one heart, cardiomyopathy, arrhythmia, fetal alcohol syndrome, common in the pregnant women who takes alcohol. Nervous system complications are peripheral neuropathy because of thiamine deficiency, optic neuritis, Wernicke's encephalopathy, that is Wernicke's syndrome, because of the deficiency of thiamine. Musculoskeletal complications like trauma, acute proximal myopathy, in blood anemia, white cell dysfunction, decreased platelet function, infectious diseases like tuberculosis, sometimes cancer in the larynx, esophagus, liver are very common. These are the medical complications of alcoholism. The next one is the social complications like antisocial behavior, accidents, road traffic accidents are more common, and family conflicts, marital conflicts, suicidal idea, homicidal tendencies, and occupational problems such as job loss and poverty are the social complications. So question comes as complications of alcoholism. You have to write the psychiatric complications, medical complications, and this one social complications. Now let's see the management. So how to diagnose alcoholism? So best method of diagnosing a patient with alcoholic problem is by collecting history from the patient and his relatives, and by observing the patient behavior. By observing the patient behavior, we get complete picture about the patient's condition. There are some commonly used tools to diagnose alcoholism. First one is Michigan Alcoholism Screening Test. Must. So this is used in foreign countries more commonly. In India, we are using the CAGE questionnaire. The CAGE questionnaire, the CAGE is acronym. The CAGE is a simple screening questionnaire to identify the potential problems with alcohol. So alternate questionnaire which is used for CAGEs, TASTE questionnaire. So, but commonly we use CAGE questionnaire. So in exam, CAGE questionnaire comes frequently. So let's see what is CAGE questionnaire. CAGE, C-A-G-E. It is acronym, alcoholism screening test. So here there is four questions we need to ask to the client. First one is, have you ever felt that you should cut down the doses on your drinking? So cut down. C stands for cut down. Ask patient, have you ever thought of cutting down the doses? That is reducing the doses. So this is concerned by the person. There is a problem. So when a person is concerned about his health, so he will try to cut down the alcohol. Second one is, have you ever become annoyed by the criticism of your drinking? So like everyone scold the person who is drinking. So annoyed means feeling shame, ashamed. So apparent to others that his drinking behavior is very well known to others. So because of that, do you have any shame that is apparent to the others that there is a problem? The third one is this one, guilty. So have you ever felt guilty about your drinking? So have you ever felt in the life that you are doing a wrong thing, guilty feeling? So that is the third question. That is grave consequence. So guilty feeling for the future consequences. Fourth one is, have you ever had a morning eye opener to get rid out of alcohol? So eye opener. So this is very severe case, like morning immediately getting up and drinking alcohol instead of taking water or coffee. So that commonly present when you have chronic alcoholism history. So evidence of dependence and tolerance. So this is eye opener. If a person is having eye opener, so patient want to say answer yes or no for all this question. So according to that, we give the mark. If yes means 1 mark, no means 0 mark. So if the patient gets more than 2 marks, then the patient needs severe treatment. So that is the cage questionnaire. So in exam, cage questionnaire comes, you can able to write it. Now let's see the management of alcoholism. There are three different types of management. One is medical stabilization, detoxification, long-term abstinence rehabilitation. Let's see the medical stabilization. So medical stabilization is the first part of management of alcoholism patient. So here we are giving treatment for alcohol withdrawal and alcoholic ketoacidosis. So commonly we give oral medications and we give IV hydration. So IV fluids must be given regularly, and also benzodiazepine drugs are given to the patient to to reduce their aggressive anxiety behavior. And also we give some other drugs also. Chlorodiazepine oxide is also given. Next, for treatment of alcoholic ketoacidosis, vitamin B12 is commonly given in the IV fluids, and carbohydrate-rich diets are given, and we give thiamine as the IV in the thiamine 50 to 100 milligram we give in the IV fluids. Next one is detoxification, the second stage. So for the second stage, we want to treat with benzodiazepine, vitamin supplements, vitamin B complex, disulfiram, antabuse. Already we have seen how disulfiram acts. So disulfiram is given, and naltrexone and acamprosate is the alternate drugs given for patients. So it is a deterrent agents, and calcium carbamide and ondansetron also given. So ondansetron is the agonist drug. So these are the common drugs given during the detoxification of alcohol. The next very important thing is rehabilitation. Rehabilitation program is two types. One is short-term rehabilitation program and another one is long-term residential program. So in long-term residential program, the patient stays for long period of time, around 1 month, 3 weeks. So there the treatment is given. In short term, just few, like less than 4 weeks. During the time, we teach them regarding the ill effects of alcohol. We are teaching them good coping skill, and we give them how to manage the life without alcohol. The teachings are given. Outpatient counseling is given. So during the time of outpatient counseling, we screen them for any relapse, and also we educate them on alcoholism, and we teach them how to stop alcohol, how to live without alcohol. So these are the things given in the rehabilitation, and very important thing in the rehabilitation is sending the patient to the self-help group. Alcoholic Anonymous. It is another big question comes in the exam. Alcoholic Anonymous. So Alcoholic Anonymous is the well-known recovery support group. It is a self-help group. So self-help peer support organization. So all the members who have the same kind of problem will be admitted in a center, and 12 point program, 12 step for 12 steps format is there for the treatment purpose. So every member will be asking the 12 questions. The 12 questions they have to answer. So when working through the 12 steps, members will list their faults. So during the time they can accept which which is the big mistake they have done in the life to which made them to drink alcohol, and during the time they recognize where is the fault, and also they apologize to those who they want to feel sorry for their life problems. So after working through the 12 steps, the members are encouraged to share their feelings about the treatment program with another new member who is entering for the treatment purpose. So Alcoholic Anonymous commonly started in the United States of America. So these are the 12 programs, 12 point. So this 12 point, for example, the first one, the common welfare comes first. So the welfare of the patient, their life, safety, security, that is dealt first. Second one is there is one ultimate authority which is a loving God. So religious, spiritual beliefs will be teach during the Alcoholic Anonymous activity. The third one is the desire to stop drinking is the only membership requirement. So every member in the group will be asked to develop the skills, develop the this one desire to stop taking alcohol. So like that we have 12 points. You have to read the 12 points, and in the exam you can brief it out. So this is about the management of alcoholism. So we have completed alcoholism. In the next lecture we will go for other types of dependence, like opioid dependence. We will go for the other substances which cause dependence dependence in the human being. So this is the end of alcoholism. Take care. Bye bye.